special local government elections broadcast. My name is Vuyo Mboko.
And a very good evening to you. My name is Leanne Manos. We're coming to you live from the Independent Electoral Commission's National Results Operations Centre at the Tshwane Event Centre in Pretoria.
Well, in the next half an hour, we'll be bringing you up to date with the latest election results, and we'll try and analyze these results. Why did people vote the way they did? And to help us do just that, of course, we'll be joined later in the show by Professor Sakele Buhlungu of the University of Johannesburg.
All right, now before we chat to the professor and take a look at the results and talk you through how the day has progressed, let's have a look at the latest election news now.
The IEC says it hopes to declare the final result of the local government election on Saturday. Speaking at the IEC Results Centre in Pretoria, the Chief Electoral Officer, Panzit Lakula, said the capturing and validation process should be completed by tomorrow. The IEC has 7 days to declare the results. Two parties have indicated that they might submit objections to the results, but so far the IEC says it has not received any formal objections. There had been one application for a recount of votes at a voting station in Ekurhuleni on the Gauteng West Rand, where officials counted the proportional representation and ward ballots together instead of separately. Preliminary voter turnout, based on the results released so far, stands at almost 57% and spoiled ballots at just under 2%. Analyst Harold Parkendorf says there were a few surprises in the election.
It was expected that the DA would do well, but not as well as it did. I mean, it almost gets to 25%, which would on a national scale mean a swing of 8%, which is massive. And then it's overwhelming victory in the Western Cape. I think those are the important ones. And the second one would be the continuing slide in the ANC support.
And there are also issues of unemployment and maladministration in the rural areas. Have people also just looked beyond that?
You see, at the end of the day, it is interesting that municipal elections are supposed to go about things which touch your life directly, like roads and so on. But a lot of people have voiced complaints about something about which municipalities can do nothing, like job creation, like health, like education. So I think where we find that, it is because of the identity politics that people support the ANC, because they think in the bigger scale of things it can deliver.
But by and large, these elections have gone off very peacefully and very successfully.
Well, I think that, you know, it is in the nature of the news beast that we concentrate on the abnormal and very never about the normal, which is a fault in what we do. But we should be very proud of the Independent Electoral Commission. They've delivered an election as they've done before, which went faultlessly, never mind the little bits of problems here and there. Generally speaking, the outcome is fair, it comes early, and there's no argument about it. I mean, look at the ANC. It accepts the result in the Western Cape where it didn't make it.
And this is what political leaders had to say.
This election has exceeded our expectations. We had a wonderful campaign. We pulled together as a team. We connected with South Africans on a positive message. South Africans loved our message. And it seems that when all the results are counted, we may well have received close to 1 in every 4 votes, which would be a spectacular result for us and a fantastic platform on which to build into the future.
Quite happy with our performance. There are issues that we must pay attention to. We must actually seriously try to find out what is it that is switching the current communities off. Is this the feeling of marginalization a reality in their mind? We must go back, dig deep, understand it. But that is the area of concern for us.
It's very difficult to predict at this moment, but we gained some. In Midvaal we gained 1. In Potchefstroom technically we had 1, we now got 2. So we gained there as well, but we lost in other provinces as well.
I must say that I'm very happy because we have been able to show that in spite of all the predictions that COVID did, we are everywhere in the country, in each and every province, in many towns. In fact, if we didn't have some problems, internal problems, and some of our candidates did not register, we would have registered in much bigger numbers of towns. So I'm very happy that we have been able to prove the prophets of doom wrong.
Well, the performance could have been better. We have employed a new strategy that still needs to be polished, and I'm hopeful for the next elections, definitely.
That we are happy. We have not been happy from the beginning. When the reactions developed within the party, we voiced our displeasure. We told South Africa this was going to cost us dearly, and it has come to pass. We warned about this eventuality because, for all intents and purposes, what you see on the board there reflects a split vote of the IFP. And secondly, this has weakened and confused our strongholds.
Well, as you can see, it's been a very busy day here at the IEC, and the result counting is underway. Fast and furiously, I'd like to say, but there are a couple of municipalities that are still missing, and things are coming in a little bit slower than many had anticipated. But nonetheless, it is happening, and we're getting them to you. So you stay tuned after the break, and we'll bring you the latest results that have been counted thus far. Stay tuned.
Create a play to make Mom's Day. Hey moms and kids, we want you to write us a play. Buy one of 4 packs containing a set, 2 characters, some props, and a story suggestion to help get the imagination racing. Between now and the 30th of June, we'll be delivering Sony camcorders to 12 lucky weekly entrants. Plus, we're going to show the winning play to South Africa. Your play could be professionally written and broadcast on TV. So hurry, fame is waiting.
What's a good day to use Dettol? Monday, when she's a ballerina. Thursday, when I'm a teacher. Or maybe Saturday, when I'm a mother. It's every day, because germs never take a day off. Now new Dettol skincare with improved fragrance and added moisturizers gives you trusted protection from germs for healthy moisturized skin. Dettol. Be 100% sure every day.
Viewing, mailing, tweeting, updating, linking, whatever it is. There are infinite ways to stay connected to your social network with Eta. Get a super stylish BlackBerry Curve 8520 for only 90 Rand a month. And for the first time in South Africa, get 500 megabytes free YouTube streaming per month, plus unlimited free calls to a landline number. Available at all participating Eta outlets. Or call 081-125 for free delivery to your door.
Amazing things happen with Eta. So who you gonna call? T's and C's apply.
Isikhathi sinzima yes ya ngakho sebenzisa insipho eqinile ehlala isikhathi
Sunlight insipho eqinile engasheshi ukuphela.
Here we are again. Millions of South Africans cast their votes yesterday. We took our cameras to the streets to ask viewers if they were happy with the way things went.
Basically, I would say it all depends on one, but I would say I'm satisfied with the results here.
I'm in the ANC, then we won, then I'm happy about that.
I'm so happy because up to so far, ANC is still leading.
The DA seems to have made some gains in some metros.
I just can't wait for the final results, but I hope and trust that people have voted.
The DA could win the election at 2014.
We are happy that ANC is making it again.
I heard that ANC won by 63%. Is that true, national? Then I'm happy.
I'm feeling happy. I think ANC will deliver this time.
Obviously, the ANC will win, but I see that the DA make good incomes.
I'm a member of the ANC, so it's okay.
I've seen the indication that the ANC has taken over again.
No, I'm voting for the ANC. Who are you people voting for?
Are you voting for the ANC?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Well, we'll have a quick look now at the national election results and, of course, a roundup of the figures that have come through. And Professor Sakela Buhlungu from the University of Pretoria is here with us to talk us through some of those results. Starting with the turnout, national, we're looking at 56%, a rise from what we saw in 2006. In the Western Cape, we saw there 64% against, in the Western Cape that is, against 52% in 2006. Eastern Cape, this time around it's 57%. It was 56% in 2006. And in KwaZulu-Natal, you've got 60%, whereas in 2006, you had 51%. Of course, all of this with 84% of voting districts counted nationally. And we are, of course, talking here about the race for votes. Prof, what do you make of what we're seeing there?
Very interesting indeed. I mean, many people were predicting a drop in turnout, voter turnout. I mean, it tells a different story. Particularly interesting here is Cape Town, or the Western Cape, where you have 64% of the voters, registered voters, turning out. Again, it shows how intensely contested that region was. And I think it's a positive thing overall. It's a positive thing that people feel that if you have issues, go to the ballot box and resolve them there. I think that's a good one.
Looking good. Let's have a look at the next graph. We've got so many to get through as we talk you through the results that have come out so far. The next one that we're going to be bringing onto the screen, hopefully we can take a look at the national picture so far. We've got a bit of a swing vote there. Let's talk about this, Professor. We've got the ANC at this stage with 84% of the voting districts counted. It's down 3%. DA is up 7% from 2006. IFP down 4%, and the COPE is up 2%. But when we look at COPE, obviously we're comparing it to the national election in 2009, not the municipal. They weren't around in 2006. Does this tell us a story at this stage?
I think it tells us a story. The way I look at it is this. Basically, if I read the whole picture that's emerging right now, one can easily talk about a group of parties that I would call the winners. And the ANC is a winner in one sense. I mean, notwithstanding what we have there, it's a winner in the sense that it's an overall winner.
Yeah.
It has managed to hold on to what they had previously. I think the DA is a massive winner.
Yeah.
I think in this context, it's a massive winner. COPE is very difficult to work out because it's the first time they're running local government elections. So we're judging them by their last performance in 2009, which is not quite as reliable as we would wish it to be. I think then there's a bunch of parties that I would call the losers. Again, the ANC features there. Because if you look at the overall lead that they've managed to register in all the provinces outside of the Western Cape, there's a drop. All the way they're dropping margin in all the provinces, even in the provinces where the DA doesn't feature prominently. So the other big of course, which is not on that scoreboard, loser is the IFP. It's a serious loser in general. I think so. And COPE, even if we judge them by their performance in 2009, they are a loser. And of course, the Freedom Front, one would have thought they would feature in some of the provinces outside of the coverage of the DA, but they still lose. Sure. That's the picture, if you like.
Well, if we take the Western Cape there, the race for votes with 72.8% of voting districts counted. You're looking at the DA there with...
Yeah, the swing that's happened there is quite phenomenal. I mean, if one looks at it from the DA up 28% in the swing vote there from 2006. The DA down, I beg your pardon, the ANC down 20% and the COPE just up 2%. Again, we find that one hard to sort of compare to anything. And the ACDP down. But I mean, the look of the ANC down 20% in the Western Cape, it's got to hurt them.
I think that speaks volumes. I mean, I know many people have been kind of quibbling about, the performance of the different parties in all the various provinces, be it Nelson Mandela kind of metro or other parts of For me, the story is simply this. If from a strategy, if you want to be long range about the way you view these elections, the biggest winner is the DA. Because what they've managed to do now, they've managed to corner very decisively the Cape Metro. The Cape Town Metro, that's one thing, which sets a solid foundation for 2014, the province this time. But also what they've done beyond that is to actually set a very firm base in other provinces too. That's the way to read these elections. The ANC become complacent, but I think there's going to be hard talking when they meet in the ANC next up.
Well, we have there the Eastern Cape. ANC again down by 9%, the DA up by 8%. COPE 4% and the UDM down by 2%.
Yeah.
Right.
There's an interesting story that I heard an announcement. Professor, if you can give us a little bit more clarity about the DA talking about one of the counting procedures that took place they weren't happy with. I'm not sure if you know much about this one as yet, and they're wanting a recount in a certain area or a municipality or something that went wrong there in the Eastern Cape. Are you aware of anything along those lines?
There was a case where one ballot paper instead of two was issued during the voting. They picked it up, and apparently it turns out it was an isolated incident, because I was listening to a more recent kind of statement. I don't think it was a complaint, but it's not a. There's a complaint and there's a query, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not significant.
Yes, it's not significant.
In the larger scheme of things.
Something that was raised earlier on during the media briefing that the IEC had, and they clarified there was no, no big deal about it.
What we see is what we get here. There's no big deal made
There's
out
no
of it
big deal. There's no contestation of the result.
Good.
No.
Eastern Cape, however, I'm sure that the DA were hoping for a better result there, or is that a fantastic result for them? Because it was the whole thing about the Nelson Mandela Bay.
I think if I was the DA and I had a result like that in the Eastern Cape, I would have a very peaceful sleep tonight. Otherwise, you get greedy. You want everything and you want it now. This process is going to be an incremental process for all the parties. The drop by the big parties is going to be incrementally slow. The rise by the other parties, the DA in this instance, is just going to be as slow. So give it time. Don't be greedy. Otherwise, you'll fall just as hard as the other ones.
Well, the last graph there, if we can bring it on screen, is KwaZulu-Natal. The ANC again dropping by 3%, by the IFP seeing the biggest drop with like 10%. NFP, of course, didn't have any, and the DA gaining there by 3%.
Right.
Very briefly, Prof.
Very briefly there. For me, the interesting story about the KZN, the trend is similar. The NFP, very, very interesting indeed. When she broke away, when the leader of the party broke away from the IFP, many people thought, God, she's going into oblivion. But there she is.
Fantastic. She has really upset the IFP when one looks at the results coming out of KwaZulu-Natal. Professor Mhlungu, thank you very much for taking part in this special election program. After the break, we're going to take a closer look at KwaZulu-Natal. Blade Herman is standing by, and we'll find out the latest from him. You stay tuned.
A story about Vaseline Blue Seal. Once upon a time, long time ago, a prince made a jelly. He took out all the big bad bits, but it wasn't right. Then he took out the small bad bits, but still it wasn't right. And even took out the tiny, tiny bad bits we can't see. Not you, not me. Only then did his magical jelly pass the test. Pure enough to keep soft, smooth and healthy. The skin of a princess.
Vaseline Blue Seal is triple purified. Purity you can trust. Vaseline, keeping skin amazing.
In a moment, a fantastic Glomale special.
For gorgeous feet and legs, get Power Perfect Pedi for only $199.90. Try skin-free now. And if you don't see the difference within 30 days, get your money back. Skin-free, naturally from Glomale. Get that sexy shape to wear figure-hugging outfits in an instant with trim and lift for only $119.90. And now until the 22nd of May, buy trim and lift for only $119.90. And get another trim and lift absolutely free.
Get to your nearest Glomale shop today.
Every little thing I do counts for something. I'm telling you, I got the world.
You may not realize it, but we're all connected. All 49 million of us, and counting. If we all choose to use electricity wisely, to switch off what we're not using, to save as much as we can, we'll all have as much as we need. 49 million. Remember your power.
Welcome back, everybody, to this special election program. I think one can now start saying that results are coming in a lot faster than they did this morning. This morning was quite a difficult one. The afternoon started speeding up a little bit, and now we've got a picture for you that I think is developing as the minutes tick by, and a lot of the political parties expressing their utmost joy at the results that have come in for them. Others a little bit disappointed, but generally I think many parties happy with it. KwaZulu-Natal is what we're going to be looking at now.
Well, the ANC has 55% of those voting districts that have already been counted. The IFP with 18.6%, the NFP with 12%, and the DA 10.1%, and that's of course with 78.5% of voting districts counted. And this is the race for votes in KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah. We've got Blaine Herman who's standing by. He's in Durban at the moment, and I'm sure he can give us a better picture of what's going on there. And I imagine IFP a little bit disappointed with some of its votes being stolen by the new party in town, or the new kid on the block, as we'd like to call them. Blaine, it's over to you. Good evening.
Good evening, Leanne, and welcome back to the IEC Centre in Durban. Well, KwaZulu-Natal indeed is living up to its reputation as a closely contested province. The race for votes is definitely heating up, and you can expect an exciting race to the finish in certain areas. Well, we're told the auditing process of these results is well underway. IEC officials are working feverishly here at the IEC Results Centre. Now, because of the sheer volume of votes cast in the eThekwini Metro, it's normally the last to finish in terms of the final results. That completed figure is expected after 8 o'clock or so. Well, celebrations have started already, it seems, in some parts of the province. In Ladysmith on the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, there were scenes of jubilation on the streets by the ANC supporters. Our cameras were there. Watch. The party seems to have started already. Ladysmith in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. Jabulani Sitoli joins me now live to discuss some of these results. We'll get back to Ladysmith in a little while, Jabulani. Let's just start off with the KZN results. Almost 78.5%, I have it in front of me here, of the voting districts declared. Let's just run through them very quickly. ANC dominating with 55%, the IFP 19%. NFP emerging as a player, as we discussed earlier on in the political arena, 12%, just over, and DA in fourth with 10.09. MF sitting in around fifth place or so. Could this change much at this stage, Jabulani?
Yeah, it depends on whether the outstanding results are actually coming from the areas that are either the strongholds of the NFP or IFP in the rural areas, or whether there is some support within the eThekwini Metro itself, because the eThekwini Metro, as we're saying, is the last one to come in. But surely, even if there were to be some changes, there will be very minimal changes. It would seem to me that the pattern is going to be the ANC, IFP, or NFP and the DA. Those four are the key sort of players in your local government in KwaZulu-Natal from the look of things.
Let's just talk about the eThekwini Metro. As I say, the results are still expected after 8 o'clock. Around 30% of the voting districts declared, with a turnout of around 60% or so. ANC is leading the pack with 55%. The DA has about 25.4%, and the MF coming at 6.9%. Can the IFP and the NFP make a play for it here, do you think?
Yeah, it should be expected. You would remember that the IFP had a very strong presence in the past, and one would expect that at least either the IFP or the NFP, depending on which side, of the divide, when the new party came into the picture, on which side were people actually persuaded to go. If many people actually went towards the NFP, you may see the NFP emerging as another player. But what is of interest, of course, is that the minority front has re-emerged in the scheme of things as one of the players, but a smaller player, but significant enough in that at the moment is ahead of even the IFP and the NFP. NFP as well.
Let me take you to Lady Smith now in the KZN Midlands. We saw scenes of celebrations on the streets there. Close to 40% of the voting districts declared. Let's just run through some of the figures. ANC dominating again here with around 66%, IFP coming in at 13.70%, and the NFP just around 10%. Close between second and third. Did you see this coming?
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, I should say so, because one of these strongly contested sort of areas where you Utugela district municipality, and Ladysmith happens to be part of that. And the ANC, of course, has actually, cashed in on the fallout between the NFP and the IFP, but of course the NFP as well is actually have a very good showing there. And ultimately, I mean, I would imagine that one of the reasons why there are celebrations is that whatever we are having at the local level, it has implications for the district municipality. It was controlled by the IFP, and from the patterns, if they continue like this, the ANC may end up being in control of Utugela district municipality, and I think it's in that regard that they are beginning to actually celebrate.
Let's talk about the Nkandla party place. The IFP has won most votes in the Nkandla local municipality, which, as you know, incorporates President Jacob Zuma's home village. IFP 46% of the votes, as you can see, ANC 41%, and NFP third with 12%. What about a coalition in this municipality?
I mean, surely there will be a case of political expediency here. For the ANC to capture Nkandla is quite symbolic. It's the home of the state president, and the state president has been voting there. And it's in most likelihood they may actually move in with the NFP and take over the control of Nkandla. And in so doing, probably then they would say, let's use this as a base. Then moving forward, they would start consolidating their hold on the area. So I don't foresee a situation where they would allow a coalition between themselves and the IFP, because that won't really be as symbolic as taking over as a bigger player to the NFP.
Jabulani Sitole, thank you very much indeed for joining us. That's how we wrap things up in KwaZulu-Natal. For now, it's back to the IEC Results Centre in Pretoria.
Thanks there to Hammond Blaine. Well, that's all for now. I'll be back with another election update tonight at 9 here on SABC2.
Indeed. Enjoy it. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your viewing on SABC2 and then elections, and I'll be back with you again. Morning Live, 6 o'clock, broadcasting from here. And I think by that time, the picture is going to be crystal clear as to the results from these elections. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely evening, and bye-bye.